Do you like conspiracies?
Only for their entertainment value?
Well, you've come to the right place.
Here we talk about the four-letter word, conspiracy.
And we also make jokes about them.
Welcome to What the Conspiracy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to WT Conspiracy, aka What the Conspiracy, where we have two old men dads who sit around and talk about conspiracies because they're entertaining, not because we believe in them, because they're entertaining.
Are you telling me you don't believe one thing we've ever done? Like one episode you don't believe? Not even one?
Oh, no, I do. I mean, I say majority.
Okay, there we go. Majority.
Well, the one I believe in is the one that you believe in, and I know that you believe it, is the bus in Pennsylvania.
Bus to nowhere. I think the bus to nowhere is more of a dream. More of a dream scenario for me than anything. That one, and then, pretty sure Finland. Yeah, that was a very convincing episode that we did a long time ago over Finland. I would almost be tempted to believe that one, and then obviously birds aren't real. So, anyways, you can continue. You can continue the intro. Go ahead.
The intro.
I interrupted you.
Yep. It's all good. We are your co-hosts. I am Peaswad, and he
Sleepy.
is just Sleepy. Mr. Weasel, if you're
Recording
nasty.
from a different location in my house, from a different spot.
Yep.
I didn't want to do it in the other room today, so here I am.
This is, I believe, the fourth separate location that you've recorded a podcast from in your house.
I did one of the earlier ones in my kitchen. And then I used to do them in the downstairs. I used to do them in the downstairs.
In my bedroom.
Downstairs guest room. And then I've been recording them in my bedroom, but I don't know. I decided I'm just going to use it in like the upstairs living room area, so where I play video games and spend most of my time anyways. So this is where we are.
Boom.
But we aren't enclosed anywhere, so I told all of my teenagers, hey, you should probably be kind of quiet, but who knows if they'll listen or not, so we'll see.
So make sure that you stay tuned until the very end and see if you can hear a peep out of anybody else in his house.
Well, I wouldn't have had a talk with him, so I'm assuming they won't. But you could get a tiny Elvis sighting. He could hop up here. All kinds of things could happen here. We have no idea. It's,
a sighting if, and let's get into that stuff. We are at WT Conspiracy on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. If you'd like to email us, we are wtconspiracy@gmail.com. And then also we do our videos. We do video platform on YouTube, where we are WT Conspiracy also, where Sleepy is saying if you could possibly see something
true.
such as
Tiny
his
Elvis,
animal,
the little Chihuahua dog. I guess that's gonna be pretty tough for Spotify to see him, but if he hops up here, I'll describe him in amazing detail for you. Don't worry.
Oh, and then you could pick him up and put him close to the microphone and then move him a little bit, and they would definitely hear him because he's an angry old man.
He is angry. So who knows?
We're all hoping and praying that there is a tiny Elvis jumping up on the couch next to you and then him getting angry into the microphone. Stay tuned if you hear that too. Let us know in the comments or something.
That'll happen, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yep. We're going to hear a peep out of your kids, and it's going to make you furiated. And then we're going to hear tiny Elvis being angry. So make sure that you listen closely, everybody, for the whole episode. We're trying to up that view and view time and whatever. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Analytics. Anyways, country shout out. Are you ready for this? Returning countries is the United States and Canada.
Okay, as expected.
Canada more than likely is Mindful Pig. And the United States is, I have no idea. Not me. I don't listen to my own podcast. I think that's kind of silly.
You know what? I listen to them occasionally, but like I haven't listened to all of them.
No, God, no. I only listen to it to be able to hear the sound and how it sounds.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't like hearing my own voice. I think it's like a psychological thing with some people. Like I don't like hearing myself speak. Mm-hmm. Like it's weird.
That's why you're a quiet guy, and that's why I talk all the time, because I love hearing my own voice.
Little give, little take. You got to have both to make things work. So, You know.
Yeah, that's why I sleep and I work. Because in party chats, I'm like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," and he's just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, yep,
Whatever,
Enemies behind us,
Peaswad.
like
Yep.
this and that. Like someone's got to do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of enemies behind you, catching up. Video games, shows, live stuff, things.
Well, we started, as far as video games goes, I'm still playing Chivalry, obviously college football.
Yeah.
You did recommend a game, so Lord of the Rings Return to Moria, I believe is what it's called, right? And it's like a little survival game, it seems. Like dwarfs, you're under this mountain, everything's all dark. But it seems, I haven't played a ton of it yet, so I probably have less than 2 hours in it. But it seems like a kind of like a survival game, like Don't Starve Together, kind of, sort of. So I'm trying it out. It's so far it's fun. I just got to kind of get the hang of it. I don't really have the hang of it yet on really what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Right.
I just got to figure some of that stuff out. But once I get some of that stuff figured out, I think it'll be, I think I'll keep playing it. I like it so far, so I'm pretty sure I'll keep going.
Right.
As far as shows goes, football season kicked off.
We have
college football on now.
Oh.
We have NFL football on now.
So good.
So because of that, now I'm actually watching TV. So I'm watching like SportsCenter, NFL Network. I usually don't watch much of any TV, at all throughout the year, because if I'm watching TV, I could like be outside my backyard or playing video games or something, going in, anything. I don't really watch that much TV. But now with football being back, I will watch quite a bit, because I'll watch NFL stuff and college football stuff. So, Skull Vikings, got to win first week. They were possibly playing one of the worst teams in the NFL, but that's okay. But to be honest, to be an average, to even be like an average or above average team, you're supposed to be able to go out and beat bad teams. You're not supposed to struggle with them. And if the Giants look as bad, are going to be as bad this year as they look, they look pretty goddamn bad. So the Vikings won that game, and then they go from that to this week having to play. The next week game they have is they're playing the 49ers, which might be one of the best teams in the league. So it's going to be it's going to be a good measuring stick of where they are. I don't think they're going to win the game. I just hope they don't get blown out. I just hope they keep it close. And then Georgia plays Kentucky this weekend on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that game. But I'll probably have it on, but I don't know how much I'll actually pay. It's Kentucky, so
yeah, I don't think it's going to be terribly competitive.
They lost to South Carolina this last weekend.
South Carolina has that one receiver that nobody should be able to guard, and pretty much nobody can.
So that's what I'll be doing, this weekend, is watching football and just kind of hanging out. My wife's at work for the next 3 days, so she actually has the entire weekend off, which doesn't happen very often. So she'll be around. Yeah, so she'll be around hanging out with me, and we'll probably grill out, hang out with the kids, this and that. So
his wife, who I call Bert,
and
she does listen to the podcast, I believe. So what up, Bert?
She does, because she yelled at me today. She was just like, "Hey, on that last episode of Urban Legends," she's like, "Oh, that tell Peaswad his impression of me was terrible." Because do you remember it?
I don't. Was it someone of your mom?
No, something like that. But you're like, "Oh, I'm Bert. I'm so angry." and then I said something like this. I was like, "Well, you've got to be shorter to do that." You're not short enough. So she was just. I was like, "At least you're." I was like, "At least you're being talked about on the podcast." I was like, "At least you're being mentioned."
I leaned in underneath the microphone to try to make it to where they could hear from the bottom.
Right. So, but anyways, that's all I've really got going on.
Yeah.
So, how about you? What do you got going on?
Hell yeah. Well, let's see. Video games, of course. Of course, we've been playing some college football. There's my yawn. Weird. Of course, I've been playing college football. Sleepy Train and I all have that league together where I'm the Waffle House University line cooks represent.
Yep.
And what's your team?
We're the Emerald City Saviors, baby. You guys don't might not know this about me, but
Wizard of Oz.
I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. It's just kind of an oddball, maybe kind of hobby, but I have a pretty good sized Wizard of Oz collection. Yeah, so it's just I've read all the books. There's lots of books, all this fun stuff. So it's I don't know if you don't know anything about Wizard of Oz, go look some of it up. It's actually really cool. So, and that's me being a 1,000-year-old man telling you about a very boring hobby. Peaswad, you should start talking about anything else because they don't want to hear this.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, your 401k. Let's talk about.
You want to talk about 401ks?
Let's talk about the most boring stuff in the world. So yeah, video games. Like I said, we've been playing college football. Those are our teams. My brother's team is like the Mia Knight Charlies or something. I don't know.
The Mia Knight Charlie.
It's a mixture of his two.
I like it.
Yeah, it's something stupid like that. Charlie University Mia Knights or something. I don't know what the hell it is.
I don't know.
But it's his dogs, so it's a cool name. Got a cool picture my sister made for him. Our artist made for him. But yeah, video games though. I played some Chivalry 2 with Sleepy. I really only play it with other people. It's the only time I'm going to play that game pretty much. And I also tried out some more Hell Let Loose, and that game makes me want to punch myself in the genitalia.
Right. I have been playing a lot of Hell Let Loose, haven't I? Yeah, I forgot about that.
You have.
Yeah, Peas doesn't like that game, so
I hate it. I hate it. It's so slow paced.
Embrace your role, with whatever you're doing. So, you're gonna be a medic. Embrace the role.
I do. I embrace it. Then I get bored.
I like that clip where you healed Googly that you stabbed him in the face by accident. Because I'm guessing you didn't realize the buttons that you had to do.
Yep, I didn't. Yeah, a friend of our Googly Moogly, he was down, so I went over and I picked him up. And then immediately after reviving him, you can heal people. So I thought I'd press the button to bring out the health pack, and I really actually brought out my knife and then stabbed Googly in his face. Awesome. So it was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. But yeah, let's see what else. Mines of Moria or whatever. Return to Moria. I always call it Mines of Moria. Return to Moria is the game that me, you, and Train have been playing also. And man, I love it because I love a survival game and I love some Lord of the Rings. So it's like, wee girl. So like we've been playing that a lot. And then you got shows and stuff. I've been watching Loki slowly. I actually caught up on wrestling. I was saying I was so far behind, but now I am behind again. I did. Yeah, I watched so much last week since the last time we were recorded. Oh, speaking of, let's talk about something real fast. I just wanted to tell everybody that I don't know how episode 19 is going to be.
Yeah, nor do I. I
First
can go ahead
off,
and explain it. So,
wait. Before, I just want people to know, I'm not a person to point fingers at all about anything. But if I had both parts of the podcast, then I could have edited it and sent it out on last week. But here we are.
Okay, so hold on. So I sent it, and then my Google Drive apparently says too full, so it didn't send the information to Peas. He told me, I was like, okay, I'll resend it, and then I'm me, and I forgot to do it all weekend, so I didn't do it. So then I went and did it today, the day we're recording this podcast, and I realized, I don't know what happened with Streamlabs, but it broke my recording into three separate videos. So I'm not sure when the cutoffs are, and then when it restarts, so Peas is going to have to piece that all together, so, I don't know, at this point, if you're watching this, you probably already watched that. You probably already know more than I do at this point on how it turns out, to be honest with you.
Yep. You're the ones in the future this time. Yeah, you guys are in
the future for that one. So, but yeah. Good luck to Peas figuring out that. I mean, I feel like there's going to be a long pause at some point. It's all going to stop and be like, this is the point. Sleepy is an idiot and did not actually record anything. And we're jumping to this point. And it's going to be me talking about something completely different that has nothing to do with where it stopped. So,
okay, here's what we're going to do. If there is a gap where you're not talking, I am going to do exactly what you said. I'm going to pause and go, this is the point that Sleepy's video stopped recording. I will now be doing the part of Sleepy Weasel and making up what I think he said.
That would
actually I'm gonna be really funny. And then I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm Sleepy Weasel. And then say whatever I think you would have said, like, oh, yeah, like cinnamon sticks, like stuff that makes no sense at all.
Ugh.
Well, no, I said, what? No, I just meant like actual cinnamon sticks, not like the gum.
Like a stick of cinnamon? Is that?
Yeah.
This is like some North Pole Santa Claus stuff or something. I've never even seen that actual stick of cinnamon. I'm 39. I've never seen a stick.
What?
Where would I need? What would I need that for?
I can almost guarantee you that you have some in your house because your wife bakes.
Do you think there's cinnamon sticks
Yeah.
downstairs?
I would, if I was a betting man, I would say yes. I think there is cinnamon sticks downstairs because the cinnamon is fresher when it comes out in the stick instead of the
Okay, so
powder.
after this episode's done, I'm gonna go downstairs and we're gonna check because we won't get off the call.
Oh.
And then we'll let you folks know
was
if we
it?
have cinnamon in my house. Cinnamon sticks.
Well, you better write it down so you don't forget. Unless you don't have a pen on you.
Oh,
then,
I do. Well, we got a
whoops.
pen.
Because there is some last week's homework with Sleepy coming up right
So
now.
What?
There was something last week's homework. There was something I asked you, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'll let you know next week." You wrote it down on your paper.
Well, let's go back to the other notes because whatever you're talking about, I don't remember. So,
You were like, "I'm going to write it down, and I'll let you know."
hold on.
I put him on the spot. I'm
good.
sorry, everybody.
Oh, I see that starred on this thing. It's either I was supposed to look up this fish, which I didn't look up, but then okay,
That's what
also
it is.
I
Yep,
always
you're
have a
supposed to look
big
up the
star
fish.
note there that says we don't know how smart they are. Like what? Who? You? Is it you? We don't know how smart Peaswad is. I did not look up anything on this fish from the previous episode.
Boo.
But you know what?
You get your
Let
own
me
little...
write it down and we'll do it next week.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. You could have two things that you could bring in.
Okay. What
the hell is this weird fish?
Weird fish.
Weird
See, we
fish.
circled it. There's my terrible handwriting.
Circled
So
it.
weird fish.
For those that are just listening, he showed his terrible handwriting to the camera, and it is not good. Yet it is still better
I can
than
read it.
mine.
I just write really, really fast, so that's how we do this. Or else I would never get.
I wrote something on our little board over here the other day. That's an appointment, and I have no idea what
You
day
have
it
no
is. It
idea
looks
when
like
you
it
have to
says
go.
3. It looks like it says 3 October, but it could also be 30
I
September.
go back and I'll reread
So
my notes
it's like-
because I'll be writing. I'm like, okay, I'm just getting data, figuring out, and then I'll go back and what the hell does that say?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to slow down a little bit because I can't even read this. But anyways, we'll get to those here in a little bit.
Yep. So yeah, let's. Are you ready to jump into today's actual
Yeah, we
episode?
can. If you don't got any more catch up or anything
Cool.
else, really, we can definitely hop
Nope.
into it. So.
Nope. I'm just ready to record this so we can jump back into
Okay.
the minds of Moria.
Okay, so what we're going to do? Yeah,
Wait.
sorry. Okay.
Today is episode number 20, and it's going to be about the Majestic 12. And Sleepy has done extensive research on this, and I have previous hand-me-down knowledge, pretty much, of most of these topics. And so let's see what he says,
Okay.
and I'll put my input in.
Yeah, I
with
looked
it.
up quite a bit on this, so we're going to kind of be jumping around here because we're going to go through it. But then when we get to certain people that are important in this, I kind of want to stop and go over who they are because it kind of helps paint the picture. It kind of helps paint the picture of, the theory a little bit, the people involved. So
Why it formed and all that stuff. I did want to say something real quick too. I keep looking down because my watch keeps buzzing. So, and I know that this person listens. So, Kyle Todd, stop texting me, damn it. I'm trying to record this episode. You're a jerk.
Hey,
Stop
Kyle
texting
Todd,
me at this time.
why don't you be worse at Tony Hawk? How's that sound? Yeah, stop being so good at that.
They got a rivalry of
So we
Tony Hawk
did.
and Kyle Todd beating the
spent
piss out of him.
months upon months trying to beat a high score that he had, and then I beat it, and then Peaswad told him, and then he promptly rebeat it in within 20 minutes. Yeah,
An
something
hour.
like that.
Yeah.
So, it's like whatever. I don't even play the game hardly anymore. Like he killed the fire inside me. You know what I mean? He's like a
Thanks, Kyle Todd. Stop texting
he's like
me
a
at this
super
time.
villain, is what he is. Just destroying hopes
Yeah,
and dreams.
he is.
You know.
Go back and watch the episode with him. That we did an episode
we
with
did.
him. So when we say Kyle Todd, it's the guy in the episode.
That was the musical conspiracies, right? Was the one we did with them? Yeah.
Yep,
That's what I thought. Okay, but anyways, now we're done discussing supervillain Kyle Todd. like people have said, we're going to be looking at the Majestic 12 conspiracy theory, which the theory is the Majestic 12s was a organization of scientists that was comprised of military personnel, government leaders, like I said, scientists, that were put together by, who was it? Harry Truman in 1947 to help cover up and collect the spaceship from the Roswell incident in 1947. If you don't know what the Roswell incident, the Roswell incident in 1947, a rancher, something crashed on his property in Roswell, New Mexico. His name was W. Brazel, is what I've written down here. He took the debris that he found to the Roswell Army Airfield, who then reviewed it and then issued a statement saying, "Oh my gosh, this is an alien spacecraft. We found this." Some newspapers grabbed it and ran with it. And then the government came out promptly and said, no, that was a weather balloon used for radar target for testing, and that's not what it is. Blah blah blah. So then that theory, that theory's always kind of been there. People have always had kind of interest in that alien stuff. But then you get to the Majestic 12, who this Majestic 12, the theory that this organization was put into place by Truman to recover, investigate the alien aircraft, and then to eventually, put together a program of how they would approach aliens in the future if they were ever to come into contact with them again. And as far, let me move that. Okay. Let's see here. So that was the theory. So kind of the origin. So in 1987, British, and you're going to hear this word a lot, and I hope I'm saying it right, and it's super fun. I got to look up and see what it takes to be one, because I want to put it on my resume. UFOlogist. UFOlogist.
Oh,
UFOlogist. UFOlogist.
UFOlogist.
I don't know how to ufologist. Timothy.
I'll Google it while you're talking.
Timothy Good claimed to have 1950 era UFO documents. The documents were claimed to reveal a secret 12-person committee and include information on how the 1947 alien aircraft crash at Roswell was concealed, how the technology could be exploited, and then, like I said, how to handle future alien encounters if they were ever to have them again.
Okay, I have good news
Did
for
I
you.
say it right? No, I can just put it on my resume?
Ufologists, and there is no standard path to becoming a ufologist, given its classification as a pseudoscience, but enthusiasts often engage through self-education, writing, and lecturing. So what we're doing right now is we're lecturing about UFOs and ufologies and stuff. So therefore, we're
ufologists and cryptozoologists.
Ufologists and cryptozoology. Can you believe it?
Mama, I made it. So happy.
We should probably have our MD by now,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Dr. Peaswad?
Yeah, and Dr. Professor Esquire Weasel. It's a long title. But anyways, let's see, where was I at? Researchers claim that 1984 ufologist Jane Shandera received undeveloped film that, when developed, showed 8 pages of documents that appeared to be briefing documents describing Operation Majestic 12. So, before we go too far, I mentioned Timothy Good, so I kind of want to go over who he was a little bit, just because you're going to hear these names more as we go through, so that way you kind of have a reference point. He was involved in the initial publication of the Majestic 12 documents, as I just said. He was an author. One of the books he wrote was called Above Top Secret, and it had to do with the Roswell incident in New Mexico and this and that. Years later, the CIA in the 2000s cited that book as being one of the reasons that people today still believe in the Roswell, New Mexico incident, was because of that book, written back in the 80s. But it's been reviewed extensively. The book makes a case for UFOs and the cover-up, but it doesn't have any evidence. People say it's real heavy on pushing theories on why it could be there and why things could be happening, but obviously doesn't have any evidence in regards to it, which would make sense because no one has any right now. So,
right.
Okay.
that we know of.
So, as far as that, as far as we can keep going, this theory emerged in the 80s. UFOlogists believed a Roswell cover-up with a government agency was responsible. That's what the Majestic 12 would have been. Shandera, along with Stanton Friedman and Bill Moore, received anonymous tips, which led to the discovery of the Cutler timing memo in 1985 while they were searching declassified files in the National Archives.
I don't know what that is, surprisingly.
Well, Eisenhower's assistant was Robert Cutler, and Nathan Twining was a general. And apparently in this memo that they said they discovered, it made a reference to the Majestic 12. But they did not keep a copy of it, and obviously don't have one to go over. I want to go over Stanton Friedman real quick, because you're going to hear this name quite a bit.
Okay.
Because this guy, when you're reading this stuff, like you don't expect to run into some of this stuff. Stanton Friedman was a nuclear physicist / ufologist.
Boom.
He as far as on the ufologist stuff, over the years he did lectures at over 600 colleges, to over 100 academic groups in U.S., Canada, and 18 other countries. He published 80 UFO related papers. He has submitted written testimony to Congress multiple times, and appeared at the UN twice. Yeah, so people take this guy pretty seriously. He referred to himself as the flying saucer physicist because he was a nuclear physicist, and then he also is, obviously the UFO stuff.
He referred to himself as,
and he was the first citizen to go to the Roswell site and document it years later, and try to find other things and this and that. According to him, this is what they said. So,
okay. Cool.
But yeah, this guy was a nuclear physicist. And you can be a nuclear physicist, super grounded in science, and a ufologist at the same time, if you didn't know.
UFOologist.
I'm going to say this a billion different ways the entire time. But anyways, with those three, like I said, you're going to hear more about Bill Moore. But anyways, those three, supposedly, in addition to the film that Jane found, in addition to the film Jane found that had the 8 pages of notes documenting the Majestic 12 and outlining how the program would work and this and that, they said they found this memo referencing it, which they said was more evidence that this government organization existed.
Yep.
Let's see here. Where do we want to jump to? I don't want to jump too far ahead. Oh yeah, this is fun. Yeah.
Cat just fell out of the cat tree.
Oh, they did? So as far as I have a note right here, as far as a claiming connection to it. So the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Let's see here. Richard Doty. Richard Doty. This guy's not involved with that thing right there. Told filmmaker Linda Howe that the Majestic.
Linda Moulton Howell.
Well, I only wrote down Howe because I was trying to save space.
Well, it's a hyphenated name. We got to get it right, man.
That Majestic.
Linda, I know you're listening. I'm sorry.
That
we apologize.
12 was true. He showed how documents supposedly proving existence of aliens from the Zeta Reticuli star system, which I looked this up.
Zeta Reticuli.
It is 39 light years away. So, just around the corner.
Yeah, real close.
And he had promised her that with all this other stuff, if she would, do these shows or do these interviews, that he had supposed actual film footage of a UFO, and he promised her an interview with an actual alien.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So when somebody approaches you, Peaswad, and says, "Hey, I got these videos of this flying saucer, and then also I'm going to let you interview an alien," how do you respond to that? What do you do?
Well, I would immediately sell them. Okay, but I have to have a crew of 3 people with me to do this, because I'm not going there by myself to get kidnapped.
That's how you get lured into That's how you get lured away. It would almost seem.
Yeah, Yeah, you get stolen, you know, like, you want to see some videos of some aliens? I got one in my house. There's an alien. Like,
Okay, so right now, as far as the Majestic
Okay.
12 goes, so let's just recap before we move on. We've got
Yeah.
Timothy Good. We've got
Yep.
let's see here. We got to see here.
Ruben Studdard.
Stanton Friedman, Bill Moore, all saying to have all this evidence, you know, the film and then this memo, claiming that they have this stuff, and then you have this Richard Doty guy claiming that he had all this evidence and the rest to it as well. So, but now we can move on. We got to kind of well, actually, I want to go over who Bill Moore is real quick, because I'm going to get down to him more here in a little bit.
You're going to get down to Bill Moore more.
But I want to go ahead and kind of want to go over him first. So, Bill Moore was a high school teacher. He left that profession to become a freelance writer. So, you know what a freelance writer is. So, in 1980,
Yes.
he wrote the book Roswell Incident. He wrote the book Roswell Incident. And he had all this fantastic speculation once again on how the Roswell cover-up occurred, how why the aliens were here, all this other stuff like that. So just a little, like, he was a high school teacher, became a freelance writer, and basically wrote books is his background.
Yeah.
So now you get down to like all this information, and they bring it to like the UFOologist community. The community, some of them believed it to be authentic, some of them immediately doubted it. They accused Bill Moore was accused of starting an elaborate hoax with this. They, and saying that what he was doing, like he knew that this wasn't real, that he's the one who put the documents together, and put them out there to, try to get some press built up and to kind of further his own name. Before, within that community, I guess you would say.
Since you're talking about Roswell, are you going to talk about, oh God, I can't think of his name now. Oh my God. The guy who was the whistleblower initially.
For who? For what? The Roswell?
For Roswell, yeah. I'm the worst. I don't know why I can't think of his name. Oh, God damn it. Area 51 whistleblower, and that would be Bob Lazar. Oh, my God.
And when did?
Are you going to talk about
no,
Bob?
I don't have him written down. What part did he play in it? Because now you're going to teach me something.
Okay. Well, Bob Lazar in 80s, I believe. I'm pretty sure I can find the actual thing right here. But Bob Lazar he was born in 59. In 1989, this is exactly from Wikipedia, so thank you, Wikipedia, for this. Lazar claimed to have been part of a classified U.S. government project concerned with the reverse engineering of extraterrestrial technology, which he's the first person to come out and say, hey, this Roswell stuff is real. And, I'm a astrophysicist, or I don't know what the hell he is. He's got an MD or some
he's a
shit.
Smart guy.
And then they took it away. And then the government erased it, apparently. So it's like, cool. It's in physics, not whatever I said.
Ufology.
Yeah, the one that we have. He's got a real one. But yeah, he's the whistleblower to help bring this information out there. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because it kind of goes back to Majestic 12, because the Majestic 12 were the ones that were like, let's keep everything a secret.
So the Majestic 12 ruined this guy's life, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that or it was ATIP. I don't know which, because this is kind of jumping ahead a little, but for years the government, since Roswell damn near, have had an agency that is in charge of anything UFO, UAP related. The government's always had one. So it was the Majestic 12 were the 12 people supposedly in charge of that secret stuff. And then you got after them was something else, I think, and then it became ATIP, and then now it's, I don't remember what it's called now, but it's like actually out in the open now, and they have hearings about it at Senate and stuff like that.
Right.
So wild, man.
To jump back to what I was, as far as what I was talking about, a lot of people, like I said, the last guy that was accused Bill Moore of a big hoax. But then on the other side of it, a lot of this community and Bill Moore accused some ufologists and people who were debunking this information, including Philip. Let's see here. I want to make sure I pronounce his name right. Make sure I wrote it down right. Philip Klass, as being misinformation agents. Like that, these people knew that it was real, but they were claiming it to be false, just to help the government cover up the stuff they were trying to expose. Let's get to Philip, because we're about to go into the class investigations. Let's talk a little bit about Philip Klass. I don't want to write, dude. I didn't want to write too much on him because there was so much on it. So we'll just kind of hit some high points here. He was he was an aviation electronics engineer in the 50s. He didn't really like that job, so he left and became an aviation aerospace journalist. And he was a renowned UFO skeptic. I don't remember the name of them, but this guy has like multiple yearly awards named after him that people get for.
Oh wow!
This guy with his engineering, he was responsible for helping develop a lot of the early systems of well, I don't know if it was that, but like in the aviation, like radar stuff and things like that. But he was a very very well traveled and accomplished person, put it that way. Which is, you know what? Because like it's so weird. Like, let's stop for a minute. Like when you start going to theories like this, and like we've done this in the past, and we talk about the people involved in them. This usually you don't run into people with all these crazy qualifications. Like all these people, and majority of these people involved in this, all have like crazy high like degrees, and they've contributed tons to the fields of science, and this and that, and to have to sit there and talk to them about it in the same breath as UFO stuff is kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to go into the Klaas investigations. Philip Klaas, he did a review on the original Majestic 12 documents. And he said, obviously looking at it, but then there were some other things, that he found during his investigation. Robert Cutler, the assistant that he says would have drafted this or helped write it, he was out of the country when it was written. Truman's signature that is on the memo is, he says that, and if you look at it, because you can actually go on to FBI.gov and pull these documents up. They're there, so you can. Yeah, it's anybody crazy. Listening can go look these up. I mean, they're on file.
Yeah. You Google Majestic 12, it's like the second or third thing that comes up
on Google list.
FBI.gov, like that's so crazy.
But anyways, the signature, he said, is an obvious photocopy and paste. Down to he said the actual signature that was photocopied and pasted was a memo that was written years earlier to a gentleman named Vannevar Bush, who was the head of the Office of Scientific Research and Design in Roswell. So, like, even down to the little, like, scratch marks or this and that, the signature is identical, which the scratch mark shouldn't be the same if you cut it. The guy obviously cut it, put it on there, and photocopied is what he said. Vannevar was, like I said, the head of the Office of Scientific Research and Design. He had a hand in the beginnings, prior to 1947, had a hand in the beginning sections of the Manhattan Project, and he actually is one of the people who helped design current digital circuit design theory that was used to get to where we are today on that stuff. Like, he was one of the beginners of it.
Wow.
Yeah, like crazy. They were doing this stuff in 1947.
Yeah.
Like, it probably couldn't do a lot back then, but it's still pretty cool. I didn't realize they were doing that stuff already.
Yeah. They're like, look at this thing that I built. Hopefully this helps later.
And this just as an example, just as a thing too, Klaas over the years was a massive UFO skeptic. Like, he spoke at a lot of these conferences. He was actually pretty heavily involved in the UFO people community, which I read stuff saying, like, some people could stand him, some people really didn't like him, but like a lot of people would tolerate him, being at these events and talking and this and that, just to because he brought another side to it, an insight, So he actually made a bunch of bets with Stanton Friedman. They had a standing $10,000 bet, like if Friedman ever found a UFO, that he would pay him $10,000 if he ever found one. He also.
I have a standing bet. Also, do you have any standing bets?
Do I have any standing bets? I don't know. Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think I do. Do I have any standing bets?
I have one with my other friend, Kyle R. We'll say R. You know him. You met him. And standing bet is, I can't say what it's about, but we made this bet back in like 2004. Right. And at the time, it was for $250. And then after like 10 years, I was like, all right, I think it's time. You should pay me now. And he was like, let's do it double or nothing. And I was like, okay. So now it's a $5 bet that's standing. And so far, he still owes me $5. Let's just say that.
All right. Well, I hope you eventually get $5 from your standing bet. I don't have any.
I hope so too, Kyle.
Bets.
It's kind of the point, though. It's not even about the money. It's like I'm winning.
Sending a message.
Like it's why I'm not paying you.
Sending a message, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm winning. Damn it.
Okay, back to the Klaus investigation.
Yeah.
People had mentioned that afterwards that it could be, that the actual Majestic 12 documents were possibly a disinformation campaign to fool the Soviets or the Chinese. Klaus said that wouldn't even be possible. Sure. He said there were way too many flaws, like in this document. Like it would not have fooled the Soviets or any other government agencies from across the world, so it wouldn't have mattered. Other discrepancies he found, he said the date formats in memos matched the date formats that were used by Bill Moore in Bill Moore's personal letters. So that'd be a pretty big coincidence, right? Like the guy they're accusing of falsifying documents, the date code is the exact same style that you use in everything else, So there was a conversation reported by Brad Sparks. Moore confided that he was contemplating creating a hoax with fake top secret documents. The purpose of this was going to be to encourage military and government officials to break oaths relating to UFO cover-ups. So basically, he was hoping if people are saying that he was hoping that if he faked documents that there was a leak and these were out, that government officials that were involved, not maybe specifically in that, because it was, it was only 30 years, I guess, that was only like 30 years. So I guess there could be people who were still originally there. But anyways, people who are involved now with that type of stuff would come forward and, be like, oh yeah, it's true, because they didn't want to, get caught like lying or something with top secret stuff. So, next. So this went on for a couple of years. This is kind of circulating in this community, these memos and this and that. And finally, Klaus got kind of tired of it, so he actually reported to the FBI that Bill Moore was circulating top secret documents. That he had top secret documents he was circulating within, in the public. So
isn't it that's considered treason?
Yeah, you get a lot of
like
trouble
that?
for it. You're
you're
supposed to get in a lot of trouble for it.
Right.
Anyways, the FBI started an investigation, and immediately doubtful that these are credible or actual documents. They contacted the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations. And
AFOSI?
Yeah, whatever. And they told them, they stated that no such, committee had ever been formed, and it was a complete lie. So then after that, the FBI immediately came out and said, yeah, this is bogus. This is a hoax. This isn't real. I don't think they actually called it a hoax. They just said this isn't real. So take that for what it's worth. But I mean, what else would the FBI kind of say? If you really think about it, if they ask this government agency, hey, did you make this? They're like, nah, we never did nothing. They're like, yeah, this isn't real. So that, I guess you take that. Cool. You can take it with a grain of salt a little bit, I guess. The FBI declared the documents to be fake. 1996. Let's see here. Oh, in 1996, a Majestic 12 Special Operations Manual was said to be in circulation in the ufologist community, but it was widely considered to be fake. Obviously it's just these memos, and then now there's a user manual, special operating manual, user manual, same thing, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that there would not be one of those. Like if this is such high level of secrecy, like I don't think there would be a whole fudging. Ooh, caught
buddy.
it. A whole fudging handbook or manual or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if it's that top secret, it's not gonna be. I've seen things,
Right.
Like military, because I was in the military, and it's like I know how like secret stuff works, and I understand how top secret works, but I never got to see anything top secret because I only had a secret clearance.
Right. I've got to see I don't even get to see anything secret. No one even tells me secrets. You know what I mean? That's how. Not even among,
I'll tell
not
you a
even among
secret.
kids. You can't tell what.
Don't tell anybody
Okay.
else, okay? It's a secret. I'm gassy.
Okay, I won't tell anybody.
Thank you.
Listeners, don't tell anybody either. Anyway, so FBI declared documents fake, the old manual, whatever.
We got to have listeners to have them tell other people.
Brittany, don't tell anybody. He's gassy. There's one.
Thank you.
But there were, in this community, though, there are some ufologist believers. Linda Moulton and Stanton Friedman believe the documents to be authentic to the end. Friedman examined the documents in 1996 himself, which you'd think he would have. He was there when they were around, so I don't understand why he re-examined them. But anyways, in 1996, and he claimed them to be authentic. But yeah, there was still a large section of that entire community that still believed that. I mean, it's look at this conspiracy theory that you have here. Just to stop for a second, you have a secret government agency, you have government military, and you have aliens. You know what I mean? You're hitting every high point. You're hitting all the hot buttons there. So.
Oh yeah.
And then plus, half the time people aren't going to believe anything their government's telling them. So if you.
Oh yeah.
Well,
As you shouldn't.
We've done other episodes. We did MK Ultra, and like that that stuff was documented, and then like the stuff that they did, and then a lot of it that they tried to erase, and get rid of the information and the evidence. But I mean, it was still there's enough there to know what they did. Like the government will do some crazy stuff, man. Like think about what the government does or this and that, and just like imagine a million times worse, because that's probably what they're doing. So who actually knows?
Right.
Anyways, additional debunking on this. Journalist Howard Bloom, Majestic 12 was prefigured in the community. Let's see here. Bill Moore asked National Enquirer reporter Bob Pratt. National Enquirer reporter Bob Pratt. In 1982, and this 1982 is prior to any of these things coming out, to collaborate on a book titled Magic 12. That's MAJIK-12. Due to this, Pratt, considered these to always be false, because this guy was using this name prior to these, saying he discovered these documents. Prior to discovering the documents, I was like, it's just why would you have both? You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't just like, I'm gonna write a book called this. Oh wow, these documents are named this. So, so it's pretty much considered by the majority of those people to be false. So,
yeah. Well, and okay, so it's an agency that is in charge of anything UFO related, correct?
I don't think it was in charge of everything UFO related. I think it was specifically put in place when the Roswell incident occurred. They were there. They were put together which that's throwing a team together awfully quick. After it crashed, to go and get to handle the stuff that the debris, the recovery, and then what they're going to do with the aliens going forward. And then the biggest part of that, is the alien technology. Like you had mentioned, the guy, Bob Lazar, talking about them working to reverse engineer alien technology. Which were they obviously they weren't successful? I'm assuming. No.
Oh, I mean, it's I don't know if it's necessarily like jet propulsion or anything specific, but if you look at the leaps and bounds it's kind of like look at the leaps and bounds of the world since the Roswell
kind of look
thing.
how slow things were going up until like about that point,
Yes.
and then over like the last like 60 years, 70 years. Oh,
And then it's like,
man.
cool, we have internet.
Oh man,
you know,
did we
and
jump
it's like,
forward, didn't we? Huh? Did I ever think about that? That's very true.
real fast, like, real fast, like too. Like I'm not saying we weren't moving at a breakneck speed already, because we were. like from like late 1800s through until Roswell happened. Like we were making some hella crazy discoveries and stuff, but it definitely feels like it just like skyrocketed after
It, like really
like the
exploded
Roswell
once
thing
we got in the
happened.
50s. And I mean, and if it is, if it is alien tech, I'm sure it would take a long time to.
And it takes time to reverse engineer things. You're not just going to like rip off something and be like, okay, let's figure this out now. Like, well,
What is this? What
you
is
have
this
to analyze
made
it and
of?
study it and all
How do
this.
we don't know. Well, how do we
like-
develop something to analyze materials? Oh, we got to do this. So.
Yeah, and then it's like doing something in Minecraft. In order to get this, you got to get this, but then you have to get 10 of those to get to that, and then you had to, and it's so ridiculous. Like it just like it keeps like compounding. Like just increasing. Well, those are the exact opposite words that I just used there.
Compounding and
But yeah,
I,
isn't that compounding is making it smaller, and increasing, of course. is
you can
making it
increase the
bigger,
amount you're
but-
compounding.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I can do it all,
Anyways.
baby. I can.
so that's basically all the
do it all.
the data I found on it. As far as
Yeah.
unless we really want to go into more on each specific person,
No, it's
you know,
it's okay. You're good.
because there was a lot on these people. Like literally,
Yeah.
Philip Klass on his own. We could probably have done an entire episode. Same thing with Stanton Friedman. We could do an entire episode. You know what? I
Right.
think we should. I think one of the episodes we do down the road is we do a callback to this one and we discuss those two and their rivalry with each other in that community. I think we should do that. I think that'd be a good episode.
Okay, yeah, man.
Write it down.
Write it down. Let's do it.
I'm gonna write it down right next to the weird fish.
Okay, so another thing. Good. Right next to weird fish. And if you have cinnamon sticks in your house.
Cinnamon sticks and weird fish.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, something I did want to mention too that we didn't talk about is JFK,
Okay.
before he was assassinated, had mentioned multiple times that he's looking to reveal information about UFOs and whatever else. And he was big into it, and he kept talking about it and kept doing it. And I don't know if you know this, but Alan Dulles, I believe it is actually. He was the CIA director who was the one bringing him a bunch of stuff that's like, hey, let's do this crazy stuff, like let's attack our own people and all sorts of terrible stuff. So he was like, no, and he got fired, right? And so Alan Dulles later on is appointed as part of the Chief Justice Earl Warren. Chief Justice Earl Warren, the Warren Commission. He was appointed to the Warren Commission. You ever think about that craziness? How is it that you got a dude that got fired by the president, and now you are going to be on the committee to determine about what happened on the assassination of the president?
Yeah, it is kind of weird. That doesn't really make you don't think you'd be there.
No, and that goes in with the Majestic 12 because I guess it. Who was it? Dulles had a big part in the Majestic 12 as well, because Eisenhower and wanted to know the information as well about it. And it was like, do you see what happened to Kennedy?
Right.
Well, they didn't say that, but so, but yeah, he had a big part with the 12, the Majestic 12, because of he was in office for the CIA as the CIA's director for that long. So he was the CIA's director, knows about Majestic 12, knows about aliens and all that stuff, and blah, 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 accordingly. And then the president gets assassinated, he is now appointed to the Warren Commission. So do you think that he had a part in trying to ensure that it didn't happen?
It sounds like it.
Almost said the KFC. That.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Like as far as government agencies, like I said, you were in the military. I wasn't. But
yep.
I'm sure there's all like we talked earlier. There's all kinds of crazy government stuff that I'm sure we don't know about. Agencies, all these things.
Oh yeah.
So is it halfway believable that there could have been like a special task force to deal with an alien crash site and alien tech and this and that? 100%. Because if it actually happened, of course they're gonna put a government agency together to take care of it. Now, as far as the documents that the Majestic 12 had, were they real? Probably not. But does that mean that they didn't hear from somebody that this existed and they were trying to basically put something together so that way they could at least get the information out there? Doing putting together fake documents and stuff, like trying to make it look real, this and that, I guess. You ever thought about that? Maybe somebody told Bill Moore or Stanton Friedman that this was real, and then he was like, hey, but you can't tell anybody where you got this information, or else you're gonna get killed and I'm gonna get killed. Maybe it was something like that, and that's why they never came out and said that.
Yeah.
But after we did the MK Ultra stuff and I did all that research on that, it really made me realize like the stuff that our government actually tried to do and get away with. You know what I mean? Like some of the crazy stuff that they did. Because
we talked about this Tuskegee trials also.
This is just,
and it's like, that's wild,
it really
man.
is.
So who's to say, that there wasn't this whole Majestic? Like, there's so much stuff that it's like that's stupid.
Well,
no, the government
it
wouldn't.
also comes down to life in the universe or aliens or whatever. Like, do you personally believe in aliens? Yeah, do you?
Do I? Yeah.
See, so do I. I don't necessarily think they look like little, green or little gray men or whatever that stuff is, but
no.
But, like, based in like science, the universe is too big for there not to be life somewhere besides here.
I agree. I agree. Even if it's like nowhere near us,
it might not be in our solar system. It might not be in our galaxy, but it's too big for it not to occur elsewhere. We may never run into it. We may never see it. I don't know. But it's just like when people say that aliens, there's no way they exist. I'm like, just based upon a statistical and just the odds, you know what I mean? It's almost impossible that there wouldn't be, somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially since you don't know.
Yeah.
I watched a video the other day talking about like the size of the universe, and it was just like it was like one of those Facebook videos that kind of pops up, kind of just runs you through like just some facts. And it's just like they reach a point where it says, now you're exiting the known universe, and after this we don't know what's there. It's just like, so you're saying the universe ends? Like where? Like
for
where?
us, yeah. For our knowing, our understanding.
Where does then where? Like then where? Isn't that so crazy and that's terrifying to think about?
Well, yeah, and then it goes into because you're going from our solar system to the universe, and it's like, what's after the universe? And you go further out from it, there are other universes.
That's pretty crazy. Like it's just like I can understand.
You zoom further out from that. It's like
in the galaxy. In the galaxy, I can understand there being billions of galaxies in the universe, but then, this is when you get to the limit of the universe, and then we don't know what's after that. Like, because I think when I was in high school, I don't know, somebody said like the universe is expanding, that eventually it's going to stop and go the other way. Like, so I don't know. I won't be around when that happens anyways, unless there are some very great advances in medical technology in the next 40, 50 years. Then I probably won't be around for all of that. But, but it's just, there's definitely got to be aliens. But the problem is why the hell would they come here? We get all these alien sightings and this and that. It's just, and none, and there seems to be a lot here and not as many other places. It's just like, why we're not that interesting here. I really don't think that we are.
No,
I don't think the United States is that interesting.
Oh my god! Oh, there's a yawn. Great, I did it.
I don't have to yawn.
God, I hate it. I don't know why I do it when we jump on the podcast. But yeah, so okay, are you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, we can. So basically, I mean, I can do a recap. Majestic 12,
Yeah.
secret government organization tasked with covering up and handling the Roswell, New Mexico alien crash incident. Several people in the UFOologist community, I'm 100% sure I'm saying this wrong, came out with some documents saying that it was government memos saying this was all true. Other scientists and then people opposite of that community looked at these and proved them to be false. The FBI came out and said, yeah, this is all false. There are still people in that community that still believe that these are real, even to this day. But you've got two very smart people on both sides between Class and Friedman. Spent their latter parts of their careers as far as this UFO stuff arguing with each other back and forth on this. But the Bill Moore guy seems like he kind of maybe started it, and then it was kind of taken over by smarter people. You know what I mean? A little bit. So
Right.
So what do you think, Peaswad? Do you think there was a government agency tasked with covering this crash up? You think there?
Yes.
You think there was? Okay.
I don't necessarily. Okay, let me say that. I say yes. I don't necessarily think or care that there is a Majestic 12
Right.
or not. There has to be a governing body when it comes to doing anything to deal with the government.
Yeah.
So, a Majestic 12, whatever the hell you want to call it, it would be the governing body over, hey, there's some stuff going on, and it's no different than what we've done in the past. So, I did find this from 2007 to 2012. The United Aerial Phenomenon Task Force was a thing, and it's out in the open. Government said, hey, man, it is a thing. So now it's like, oh,
Didn't the
okay.
government come out during COVID or something and say they were actual aliens? Is that something that happened, or am I gaslighting myself?
No, they didn't say aliens. They said they put out videos that came out, and it's like a couple of different Navy pilots. And the pilots have come forth and talked also about it. And it's like they have videos of stuff that the jets are flying, and they have no idea what the hell it is. And even the pilots are like, what the hell? What is that thing? What? Oh, my God. And it's like...
What an audio tape that would be.
That's what they say. My God. You see it, dude? Wow, dude. Yeah, my God. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
You got to check those videos out.
I'll check them out. Believe me, it's the first thing I'm going to go do after I check my house for cinnamon sticks.
Jesus. Oh, you caught me off guard with that one. So, yeah. The government did come out kind of and say, yeah, there's stuff that we don't know what the hell it is about. And the government's been doing this for years, so I don't know why they would have not done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because even if the government's they find a crashed jet from Russia, they're not going to come out in the open and be like, hey, everybody, we found this. Mm-hmm. They don't want people to see it. So what could be a crashed jet from Russia, and we want to reverse engineer their technology, could easily look to other people as that might be an alien because the government won't let me look at it. And it's that's because they don't want you to see where it's from. They don't want you to know anything about this.
Right. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. So as far as me, I agree on the government agencies and stuff like that. But to go a little further, do I think that aliens have visited Earth? Probably not. I don't know, man. I find it hard to believe out of all of the other things in the universe that they would show up and then not they just be like, oh God, hang out, make blurry photos and leave. I do think our government knows where something is out there. Because my theory is, I've never talked to you about this, but the Voyager spacecraft they sent out in the 70s that are flying through goddamn space forever. That one is still going.
Yeah.
I think they're sending it somewhere because they put that put that record in there, I believe, that has music and then pictures and stuff. I think that they saw something or found something with one of their telescopes or whatever, and they're sending it there, and it's going to take a long time to get there, you know, because they're still. It's still active. Like, there's still an agency that deals with it. Like, even now you can read stories about it, like where like they have to do these certain repairs and they can do these things to, like, store the memory because there was an issue with it a while back. I really think they're sending that somewhere on purpose. Like, you know, it's they didn't just send it out into space. Like, let's see how far it'll go. No. They're
let's just choose a random direction.
They're sending that somewhere. I 100% believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could 100% see that too. But I mean, it's a government agency who's going to be in charge of, let's keep things on the hush that people don't necessarily need to see or know about.
Those exist
if it is,
now, you know?
Like I said,
so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, they're there. So it wouldn't be a stretch to be like, oh, they were called Majestic 12. And it's like, okay, because there were 12 people in charge of this thing, I guess, you know? Like, somebody said Majestic, fancy pants, cool, here it is.
Yeah, it's kind of a silly name, though. I don't think you would. Do you think that they would name it something like that? I don't really know how they name things in the military, really.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They named some of the weirdest names of stuff. Like, I don't understand why they do it, but, like, you heard about the Bay of Pigs. That was an operation.
That's true.
God. Now I'm like,
this man can't remember any military operations.
Nope, I can't because all I did was I was a cook.
Which one was the Enduring Freedom one? Which one was that one?
Oh, that was Iraq. Actually, I have a medal for that.
That was the Iraq one? Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the Iraq one. Enduring Freedom.
I don't know. We can ask Tweak. Tweak was...
I don't know.
Tweak was over there. Around the time.
I was in Iraq in 2010.
You may have been there the same time as him. Not kidding.
I probably saw him and was like, "This dude's weird," and I left.
He may have been in Afghanistan in 2010. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Shout out to Tweak. What up, Tweak?
He gets a shout out quite a bit lately on podcasts.
Yeah, that's cool. He's cool. Good.
Speaking
cool
of that,
dude.
I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks because there's a music festival where he lives, and I'm going to go see like Blink-182 and Gwen. You know, we're going to see Gwen Stefani, which. My daughters and wife are excited, but then you got like Gin Blossoms and stuff like that from like the 90s, so it'll be cool. But the weekend, I didn't
super old man
music. Do a very good job between my wife planning this because that Saturday Georgia plays Alabama, and then Sunday the Vikings play Green Bay. So it's going to be a pretty heavy. It's going to be a pretty heavy. Football weekend that I'm not going to really get to see. But this festival place did say they have a bar and sports area set up. So like if you don't want to watch certain acts when they're on, you could always go watch football. You can watch football games and, you know, have drinks or whatever. So
yeah.
So I'll probably be doing that quite a bit off and on in between everything. Probably, hopefully, my wife probably won't let me. So, but we'll see.
God damn it, Bert! I'm so angry.
It's exactly what she sounds like.
Yeah, see,
but you got it. Yeah,
shorter.
I can't even get short because I'm sitting on a couch.
I'm Bert. I'm so angry and short. Yeah,
it's perfect. It's like she's in the
like
room.
So she's literally right over here.
Okay, so we have concluded that Majestic 12 specifically probably doesn't exist. Something existed probably. You know, even if it was just a radar target for like a, you know, testing. They don't want people getting a hold of that and seeing what they're building, and they're using to test radar.
They don't,
because it could be something.
They're trying to test anything.
It could be something that they were trying to test to see if it wouldn't show up on radar. There could have some materials on it or something that they didn't want people to see that we were developing. You know what I mean? Like even something as simple as that.
It's. I mean, because with my experience, you know, there's even stuff that goes down like. There are specific parts of certain airplanes that even when I had a secret clearance, I think it was top secret. So it's like parts of the engine. It's just not out. They can't do anything with it unless it's in a closed hangar.
Right.
and other people are not allowed to see it while it's opened or take pictures or any of that stuff because it's top secret clearance, So, I mean,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, boo Majestic 12. I don't think that they were specifically real, but thumbs up
Yeah, they're
to
a bunch of bums anyways.
secret government agencies existing that aren't telling us what they're doing and doing terrible
Yep.
things. So,
Yep. And doing
not all
terrible
of them.
things, yeah. Like,
Not all of them, but some, possibly.
No.
Some.
There's still some bad stuff going around,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah.
looks good.
Okay.
All right, outro
Yeah,
time.
ready.
You ready? Oh, I'm sorry. Don't forget to follow us at WT Conspiracy on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, or X. WTconspiracy@gmail.com is our email address, and we do these videos on YouTube as WT Conspiracy. All one word, WT Conspiracy. Okay, so I didn't say the last thing. Sorry. Our next episode is going to be episode 21, Urban Legends by State, Part 6. It'll never end.
It's taken a long time. Do you happen to know how many more we have to get through? Because too
many.
Yeah,
Too
it's taken
damn
forever.
many.
But we're gonna do
We
another one. We're
initially
gonna get through them all, and eventually we'll be able to stop.
We initially said it was going to be 4 episodes.
It
and
takes
it's
so long.
Jesus.
It takes so long.
We're like, yeah, we'll get it on
Yeah,
4
we'll do 12
episodes.
an
We're on
episode.
part 6.
It's not doable.
I think we figured it out. And it's going to be 9 total. Like,
Yeah, because if
we like doing it. Don't get us wrong, but it's still like it gets silly to be like. It feels like we're dragging our feet, but we're not. We're trying to bust through these things.
But we want to mix other things in because we're not just a state cryptid podcast. We want to do other things too and talk about other things.
No.
So we'll be doing
Yep.
that next. We have some. I think we already have a couple of the next few episodes already lined up. Peas and I were talking about before we started recording. So I think those are pretty much lined up.
Yep.
And then, like I said, I added this one where I really want to kind of look more into Stanton and. I want to look more into Klaus and Friedman, kind of their dynamic of their rivalry. I think that'd be a cool one to do. So we're gonna do that, and then gonna work on a few other things this week. I guess I talked with Pete. I think we got some ideas of maybe some new stuff we want to add to the podcast as far as at the beginning or at the end. So we're gonna kind of see how that. I got to test some things out and just see if this will work. Run it by Peas and see if the old co-host here will agree and see if some of this stuff will work. But maybe on the next episode. If not, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we can make it work.
Yep.
Hey, there's a cat.
Sounds good.
There's a cat.
Oh, we had a cat.
There's a cat.
There's a cat.
That's Buttercup.
Buttercup. For those that can't, those that listening on
there's an
podcast.
orange cat sitting right behind my shoulder. An orange and white cat.
Yep.
Is she gonna lay down?
There it is.
This is riveting to the people not on YouTube, I'm sure.
No, it was just peeing. That's fine. The cat's like, don't touch me. What the hell? Yeah, for those that don't know, like my cat's sitting like right over here. Like right over here. She's laying down on my table.
Right.
She got a cat bed up here and everything. But anyways, enough about cats. So, if we didn't do a good job this time.
Maybe we will next time.
Boom. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching.
Bye.
Bye.